Who are these people who are writing things? First time I got 25 XP from, wait, you get XP? Okay, hello, Cantuad. I don't know what XP is in terms of in terms of live streams. Okay, so hello to the two people who are here. I'm dressed in my trad wife costume because we're getting in the mood to to cook. It is really hot for Sweden, so it's like 26 degrees. I think that it got a little bit cooler during the day, so I have the window open. We're going to be making chicken with barbecue. It's going to... I don't want to turn the lights on because it's so, hot, but I'm going to be making this. It's barbecue pulled chicken with bulgur and vegetables. So I hope that you like this. I haven't done HelloFresh in a really, really long time. So yeah, let me see. I think that I have top chat instead of light chat. There, okay. Hello, Sig. Hello. It's been such a long time. Okay, so we're going to just look at what we need. So the first thing to do is to turn the oven at 220 degrees, and then we're going to put the chicken on one side with the paper and put some salt on it, and then we're going to put all of the vegetables and cut them up into pieces like it says on this picture. Okay. Yes, thank you. Okay, sick. I'm really happy that we finally got to talk. Okay, now I'm going to have to move you guys. I don't know how to make it with the light though, so I'm going to turn some lights on. I hope that it's going to be not too hot. Okay, wait. I'm going to unplug this. There we go. Okay. Yeah, how are we going to do this? We're going to switch to the other side. Okay. Okay, sorry guys. I think that you're stable now. I don't know why it says top fans in the corner. Oh, sick, you're I didn't know there's this new thing that apparently now you can be top fans. So I guess it's to encourage people to talk in the comments. But like I know who are my top fans and who aren't. Like it doesn't really matter to me. But okay. So Sick and Cano Toad. Obviously you're a top fan. Yes, but I don't know if this is considering everything that you have done beforehand, or if this is just specific to a live stream. So this is something new to me. Okay, so we're going to be I'm just going to be cleaning the chicken in the sink. So we're not cleaning it, but I'm just going to be taking it. I'm going to wash my hands, so that's what you're hearing in the background. Oh, no, I think that this is what we should do. We should get... Oh, God. Okay. So we're going to get some baking paper out and a plates thing. Sorry for all the clanging and the noise. We're going to put this baking sheet onto here, there, and I'm going to put the chicken onto it. I don't know, I think that there are two pieces here. So every time that I get HelloFresh, I try to do it when I have time. So here we've got that. These are chicken breasts, so, okay. There, okay, I'm going to wash my hands now. because it's chicken. Oh, I mean, this isn't really worth my money, let's just say, so that's why I don't do the HelloFresh very often. It's 550 crowns for basically 6 meals, 3 recipes, which, yeah, it's pretty much like quite expensive per meal. But I'm doing it because here we are. Now, we turned the oven to 220 degrees. Wait, what were we? 220, and then we put it on some kind of setting. Okay, so that's going on. While we've done that, we are going to start cutting up vegetables. So we are putting this. Oh wow, I have too many things. Right. I'll check the chat before I start cutting up vegetables. I just need to set up the vegetable cutting board and everything. So, because they want us to put the vegetables on top of this. So, okay, so let's see, what do we need? We need, we're going to make the paprika. We have a paprika, which is kind of lopsided, but it's good. A paprika, a bell pepper is what we call it in English. So I'm just peeling the onion here. Yeah. So guys, for those of you who don't know what's going on in my life, I've been having a social worker come to my house once a week. Last week I couldn't have them come at the regular time because I was working, and I'm working at the emergencies more because during the summer we have more emergencies. But basically, so a new person came into my house. I'd had one person come, and she was fine, but then I got this other person, and unfortunately I got really triggered when she came. So instead of having 1 hour session, like, I had to stop it after a half hour because I got really, like, I felt like I was going to have a meltdown. And also it was hot and everything, but I think that I would have had a meltdown anyway, just not as quickly, maybe, if it had been less hot out and stuff like that. But anyway, she pressured me. Like, she was trying to tell me to buy a dishwasher, and like, it's a stupid thing, like, it's not like a big deal, but I don't want somebody to come and tell me how to live my life, you know, and especially not like telling me what I should do. And so I got really sad, like I started crying, and so I just told her, I feel sad. And she was like, do you want to end this? And I was like, yeah, I want to end this session. So that is what's going on. This is a sort of support thing for my autism that my town provides. But since I can manage these sort of things, I prefer doing this live, like as a body doubling, than having like an actual person come in. But yeah, this is what I've been doing, because they watch me doing my dishes and they watch me folding my clothes. But apparently they can do it in a respectful way, because the other person seemed to be able to do it in a respectful way. So I wanted to keep on going with the other person rather than this replacement person that came instead. Anyway, we're still peeling this onion. This takes ages, and I can feel the oven getting hotter, but we're going to have to keep peeling. Okay, so that's this kind of peeling. Okay, there's that. Now where's my knife? Okay, let me look at what's going on here. There's probably nobody in the chat. You're missing, you saw the title of the video. What are you saying, Cantoad? You're just blank. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't made a video about this yet, so this is some new information. You're getting some scoop information, you guys. Okay, so they want us to make 2 centimeter big parts of this paprika. Sorry, I keep calling it paprika. That's because it's what it's called in Swedish. It's a bell pepper. Okay. It's a really thick bell pepper, but we're doing what we can. Anyway, I mean, I've been making a video like every other day since like 2 months back, so it's like it's hard for me to know who is up to date on what, because like I'm not even up to date on myself. I don't know where I am. I'm doing okay. Things are going fine. It's just that like I wished I was like working on other things rather than working on this, but it seems like, you know, I need to take the opportunities as they come. So that's why I'm doing this whole thing with social workers, because I can't really. Okay, 2 centimeters. Okay, I don't want so much of this white stuff in the middle. Anyway. Okay, and then we go and we cut it like this, and we cut it once more. So anyway, I will be going to Pride, which is going to be fun. I am just taking easy this weekend. Next weekend I wanted to see my friends, but they're working, so I kind of need to go to the dentist. So I've been thinking maybe I should do that before I go on holiday. There are also a lot of other things that I need to do, like I need to buy a wedding present. So if anybody has any ideas of wedding presents, because I've never gone to a wedding actually in my life. I've contributed to my cousin's weddings, like I gave money to my mom, like so that she could pay. Oh, oops. I was about to throw the paprika into the trash because the trash bag is right there. But okay. Okay, that's the paprika. So yeah, I've been doing that. I've also been listening to a lot of audiobooks, so I might talk about those later once more people start coming in. People start coming in usually like after about an hour or so. We'll talk about that then. Oh wow, this paprika roomed a lot. But yeah, so I've just been working, just doing my stuff. I don't know. I went dancing with my ESFP colleague. I've made a video about that, which kind of led to me, you know, start thinking a lot about things. You know, I've been thinking about my INFJ, my ex-INFJ friend a lot, because it's been exactly 2 years since he left me, and so I get really moody, and it's like I don't know why I can't move on. It's been 2 years, but like, yeah, it has affected me really deeply, and you know, there's a lot of realizations that come with that. So it's not all bad. It's not like I'm, you know, depressed about it. It's just like I'm realizing like, oh, that was not my fault. Oh, he did this. Oh, like, you know, it wasn't like it was an abusive relationship, but it wasn't a good one, really. Like, we could have done it better, but I should, like, he needed to grow in certain areas, and in other areas he told me that I should grow, and actually what it was I was autistic, and I didn't know that at the time. So, you know, I'm giving myself compassion, because, like, you know, I couldn't change something that I didn't understand. So, but yeah, it did affect me, because I saw some guy on the dance floor who looked extremely like my friend, and like I got like ghosts from the past, kind of. So that's that. Let's see what's going on here. So now we're done with the paprika. Yeah, some stuff linger. You read 4 books in 2 weeks. That's great. Oh, Adrienne. Hello. Hello, Adrienne. It depends. No, Pride. I'm doing okay. So Pride month is in June for everywhere across the world. But in Stockholm, it is the 2nd of August. So, yeah. So it's coming up. Okay. Now what's going on? Okay, so I don't have olive oil either, so that really sucks. But I do have that butter thingy. So, okay. We're going to cut the onion, sorry, not the olive. Okay, I don't know how to cut onions, so close your eyes, I guess. I don't know. Why am I doing this? Okay, I think that like the oven is overheating or something. I'm feeling the heat is coming out now, so it's like it's ready. So I don't know how to cut onions. They don't even say how 2 centimeter big pieces. So I don't know what 2 centimeters is. So here we go. So they don't want small pieces. They want big pieces. Okay, so yeah. I do think that I like onion to be a slightly thinner pieces than this, though, when it's in the oven. So there. I am glad that some of the INFP community is coming back together somehow. Our friend Bufo has been, I mean, you know, she's having difficult circumstances, but like she's online and making the videos, like that's really, wow, you know, with everything that she's gone through, especially also what she's gone through from the internet. I'm surprised that she has found the strength to keep coming on here, you know, like, I don't know, I make videos without really thinking, so it's not like you know, but it does get to me sometimes, the bad comments and this shit, you know, but I know that she got a ton worse, you know, but so she's doing her thing, and then I've also been in contact with Vondelpiets, and that's been great. You know, I've been having a hard time with my IRL friends, like knowing where I stand with them, because I think that, I mean, it's not any fault of my ISFJ friends, but you know, he's at the emergencies right now, so he doesn't have any time to meet, but it does make me sad, you know. I wish that things were different and that we could like meet more often. Okay, so there's that. Oh, we also have a. Sorry, the ambulance is going outside, and I get distracted every time that happens. Okay, how should I cut this? Okay, so we're not supposed to peel the carrot. We have it in 1 centimeter thin slices. Okay, 1 centimeter thin slices. I don't know what 1 centimeter is. I guess that they're just thin slices. I mean, these aren't slices. These are like, okay, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they want, but I'm doing what I can. At least, like, I've become closer friends, I guess, to my ESFP colleague, because she's more willing to, like, open up about things to me now than before. And now it's like she complains that I don't answer her messages within like the first 5 seconds. So it's like, I don't know. She, you know, some people have like are incompatible in terms of how often they text, you know? And I, you know, I'm not that quick like she is. And she suspects that she might be ADHD, and I'm like, yeah, I get it, because I have a friend who is ADHD who is exactly like this. And it's like, I can't keep up, you know? I'm glad that we can, you know, be on the same page in terms of that we're both neurodivergent, but like we're so opposite, like, anyway. So they say to put olive oil. I don't have olive oil. We're going to put this cayenne, which is Cajun. I don't know how you say it though. Maybe somebody from that area can tell me. But we're going to just like pour this. I think that we need to like mix it all up everywhere. And so anyway, my ESFP friend, she says that she dances in the kitchen, and it's like, yeah, I sing in the kitchen. I'm a bit silly in the kitchen too, and I'm glad that we can relate on that point, because everybody else is so boring at my workplace. It's like, you know, they have such silly little lives. I mean, we all have silly little lives, but like, come on, you know? Okay, I don't know how to deal with this olive oil thingy, so we're just going to just spread it somehow into here. This is like rapeseed oil, yeah, in like hardened form, like in butter form. So we're just going to use the rest of this up, and it's fine. It's not the best idea I've had, but we can deal. We can deal with this. I mean, it's not going to be spread very evenly, but I mean, what to do? There's nothing else to do for it. Okay. I'm feeling the effects of the heat already. But what can we do? Nothing. Nothing. Okay. And I made a video about indecision, and one of those headphones that I was looking at already has gone, so like that helps my indecision somehow. Okay, salt, pepper. Okay. I have to be careful with pepper because it makes me sneeze, and somehow this never makes it even. Like, I can't spread it in an even way because it's like it comes out in clumps. Oof. Okay. Oof, that was too much. Oh well. Okay, what's going on here? I usually listen to something on YouTube when I'm in the kitchen. Yeah, me too. Yeah, exactly. Bupa has showed incredible strengths in the last events. And oh, she was able to keep up with emails. I don't have email contact with her. Yeah. There's some helpful YouTube video to demonstrate how to cut different fruits and vegetables. Sometimes I reference them. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, like, I've looked at some of those videos, but there's so many different ways and I don't know which one is good. Like, so I know that there isn't only one right way. So that's at least some positive. Okay, let's, oof, the oven is cooking. Okay. Whoosh. Oh, I think we need that. I hope I'm not missing something in the ingredients and stuff. I'm putting the fan on, so sorry if you can hear that. Okay, so it says 15 to 25 minutes in the oven until the vegetables are soft and the chicken is cooked through. So we're going to let that happen, and during this time I'm going to just clean my cutting board a little bit. Okay, so I actually have a timer, so we're going to do that. I got this ADHD timer, like, I don't know, oh, you can't see anything. God, whoops, sorry. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. So it's like this, and I'm going to turn it. Sorry guys, somehow it doesn't want to lean in any way. Okay, wait. There. Okay, so 15 to 25 minutes. Okay, let's put it at 23 minutes. Okay. There. Okay, so it's ticking. So, yeah, and it's going to ring really loudly when it's done, so I hope that it works. Okay. It's mechanical, yes. It's good that it's mechanical and it's not like coupled to my phone. But also, like, I can see the time progressing because it has like a red area that disappears with time. So it's supposed to be like understandable for people with time blindness. It was the kind of timer that they used during my autism course, and it was really good because like we knew how much time was passing. Okay, and what's going on now? Blah blah blah. Okay, so now we have to cook the bulgur. So it says just cook some water, so that's what we're going to do first here. Okay. There we go. Okay, so the water is going to be cooking. What is going on here? Okay, I don't know how much you can hear the ticking. I'm sorry about that, if that annoys you. I might put it further away, but then like I won't be able to see what's going on with the time. The bulgur with salt. Okay, so we're going to add the bulgur and the salt at the same time once the water is boiling. So the bulgur, as usual, comes in these little packages. Okay, sorry, I'm putting on the light so you can see what's going on. My kitchen is also like, I don't know where things are anymore because when my dad and my brother came by, suddenly I had to like clean up my kitchen, and so I don't know. I have to find the. Okay, here's the lock for the cover. I'm speaking Swinglish. Let's see. Okay, so things are happening here. We're just going to let it go. I might be able to get some more light now that it's not sunny outside. How much battery do we have? Okay, we're fine with battery. Okay. So the water is going to be boiling. And while that is happening, they want us to do the lime dressing. So we cut this lime into pieces and squeeze the lime juice into this yogurt. So this is the yogurt, and we like put them together, and salt and pepper. So I'm just going to be cutting the lime into pieces. Oh wow, this lime is really like chewy, I guess. I don't know how much lime we want to have inside here. What is going on? Why is it? Is my knife so bad? Okay, I don't know. The lime is not fresh, but okay. Okay, HelloFresh. So we need a little bowl. I have a little bowl here. Okay. So I'd had a lot of videos on queue, but I'm not having that anymore. I have 0 videos in my queue. I have a short actually in my queue. But I've been running on queue for the past like 3 weeks. Because like I would keep making videos when like there was already a video planned that evening. So I was never really, you know, at the right time track, you know. Oh, I love yogurt. Yogurt is one of my favorite foods. Okay, now the water is cooking, so I'm guessing that we put some bulgur in there. We put the bulgur and we put the salt. Okay, great. Okay. And salt. And then we put the lock on top, the cover on top of this. Do they want us to? Okay, then we have to put it to mid heat. So I'm putting it to mid heat and I'm putting the cover on. And we're supposed to have this under in 10 minutes. So this is supposed to go 10 minutes and there are 15 minutes left on the other thing. So when there's 5 minutes left, it's time to check on the bulgur. Now we're going to add the lime. Oh, that's nice. I like squeezing this lime. Okay, that's one lime piece. Okay, I couldn't cut this lime because it was so squishy rather than firm, but okay. Ugh, I'm getting some lime onto myself. I'm getting some lime pieces flying at me. Okay. Oh, I just love the lime. I'm just eating the lime up. Oh, yeah. I love lime. Okay, more lime. Oh, actually, this isn't yogurt. This is gräddfil, which is some kind of something else, like fish kind of stuff. It's not actual yogurt. Okay, and then we went to put I don't know how much more lime they want in this. It seems like there's so much lime that it's going to get all runny and watery. I don't think that we can put more lime on this. I mean, this is supposed to be a sauce, but it's more like a juice now. Okay, and they went to put salt and pepper in this. Okay, salt. And the pepper is always scary because it keeps flying out. Ah, okay. For once, it didn't come a huge bunch of pepper at a time. Okay, that's good. So we've done the lime dressing. Okay. And we've got the spinach as well. So we're going to be just rinsing the spinach. So, okay. Okay, so there we got some, we got a little piece of earth inside the spinach here. But at least we've got some spinach. Because we're going to add the spinach to the bulgur later on, so it's better to just take it all out of the bag. Cat's out of the bag. Okay. But I really love, like you said, Sig, I really love just having a YouTube video in the background. Usually I have Dana Anderson in the background. She is great. I really love her, and she really does a great job in the kitchen, but that's because she's learned this when she was growing up. I'm learning this now. You know, like 2 years ago I started with this stuff. Okay. Okay, it's such a big mess that I don't have olive oil. That's the big problem here today. Okay, the vegetables seem to be cooking. It seems to be okay. The chicken is also doing well. Let's see if I can show you guys. Okay, so this is the chicken and the vegetables. So something is happening at least. And so here we've got the bulgur, which, oops, okay. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, here we go. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Don't forget the butter because they melt from the heat. Yeah, but that's the whole point, actually. That's the whole idea that I was doing here with the butter, is that it's melting so that I can put it into the bulgur later. So thanks for reminding me, but I'm kind of thinking about what's going on. I know that it gets rancid from being outside too long, but you know, it's not going to be out for too long because it's we have 10 minutes left according to the timer, so I think it will be fine. Let's see what's going on here. I think that you guys are, I don't know how you guys are getting XP, but somehow Cannot Toad is #1, and Sig Purvis Magnus #2, and Van Lykke 72 is #3. I think that the first person to come to live actually gets most points, according to this system, which is kind of a silly system, because it's like, who cares about how early somebody comes to live? You know, if I'm not there, like, that live isn't about to start. But okay. Okay. I love this sauce with the lime. Ugh. Okay. I'm going to drink some juice here because I'm sweaty and tired. So, if you guys want to see what the mechanical clock looks like, it's like this. It has a little red area. So yeah. Okay. Oh, when do we put in the barbecue though? Oh, wait. Okay, so this goes when we have the barbecue chicken, then we can put this into it later on. Oh, okay. So what else going on? Yeah, also, like, since I'm working at the healthcare center and I'm like, at this point I'm one of the only people at my level at my job, it's kind of stressful. and a lot of people are on holiday. So there are 2 specialist doctors at the moment. There was a week where there was only 1. And unfortunately, I've had a lot of patients who have like huge problems, like have gotten a cancer diagnosis. It's not just one person, several people who I've had to like tell them about the cancer diagnosis, or that I've missed the cancer diagnosis and the person ended up at the hospital, or that I think that they have some kind of cancer, but I don't know what it is actually. And yeah. And then I have people who like, you know, they hurt themselves really badly because, you know, people are more active at this time of year, and then like they get into like, you know, motorcycle accidents or that kind of thing, and then I'm like, you know, I know these patients from before, and then I feel bad for them. And then I have older patients who, like, you know, during the summer, like their carers are on holiday, so they have just like, you know, temporary people working for them, and then it's like everything is messed up, and I don't know what's happening, and I lost all sense of control. So there are lots of problems. It resembles a pressure measure device. Yes. Yes. It is. Okay. So the bulgur should be getting ready soon. So let's see. I need a fork. Okay, I put way too much water for the size of the bulgur, but like this is a constant problem that happens to me every single time I do bulgur. I can't ever really fix that. Okay. I'm going to eat some of the lime because I'm worth it. So at the moment I'm reading a book that I've not, or listening to an audiobook that I've not finished yet. It's called Do Ask, Do Tell, which is about queer and LGBTQ experiences. It's basically like everything that you've ever wanted to ask about LGBTQIA plus experiences in a book. And I think that they do a really good job. Like, I'm not done yet, but I'm like 70% into the book. They talk about disability, they talk about being trans, being intersex, being asexual. They talk about gay men, gay women, bisexual, you know, everything. They talk about, you know, the fear of HIV, aging, appearances, you know, the cult of appearance. They talk about why gay men feel the need to put themselves into categories, but also lesbians do this too, and why some people have a hard time with the word queer or the word lesbian. And it's a very compassionate and lovely book. So I would recommend it to everyone. I think it's newly published, so I just got it from this audiobook subscription service that I have for free, because I got, you know, after 6 months they went to take me in again, so I get a free month. Every 6 months I get a free month of that, and then every 6 months I get a free month of another subscription service. So somehow I managed to cobble up all these things. Always impressed with your live cooking sessions, even think things don't always turn out perfect. I think you're doing it fine, and we're proud of your efforts. Thank you, Adrienne. Yesterday I finished a book called When the Body Says No, The Hidden Costs of Stress. It's a little bit like The Body Keeps the Score, kind of. I don't know if you read That Sick. I hadn't heard of that one, but maybe I should. I put the suggestions into my Goodreads. I have a very, very long to be read list, unfortunately. Like, okay. It's 5 minutes to the end of the clock, so I think that it's time for the bulgur to be done. So how do we do with the bulgur? What do you do? I guess that we strain it, or that we okay, well, at least I turn off the heat. Okay, I bought this like little strainer thingy. It's not very good because like all of the water just stays stuck here, but at least it's not as porous as a regular sieve. So let's see, I'm going to take that off at least. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Okay, and okay. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Okay, first we're just going to pour off the water. Pour off the water. Oof, there's a lot of steam. It's really hot. That's why my mom used to always cook food after daylight, like, you know, during the night when we lived in France, because, you know, it gets really, really hot. But here in Sweden, the light never goes. It's always sunny. You know, we're not really at midnight times. It's 1 month since, you know, there was actual midnight sun. Okay, the bulgur is not too bad. I think that's pretty good. Looks pretty nice. It's not too watery compared to some other bulgur that I've made. So I think that that was a success. Probably the timer does make some kind of difference. Okay. Now, okay. You guys can't see much when I do that, but I have these like protection thingies, so you know, like I'm not like destroying everything all the time. Okay, I think that it's soon time. Wait, how many minutes? Okay, there are like 3 minutes left on that timer. Do they want us to add something to that? Oh, I think it's maybe time to put the spinach into the bulgur, like now. Because, well, it's still hot. Okay, spinat. Spinat is spinach. Olivolja. Salt. Okay, salt. We put the salt in now. Okay. We put the spinach into it. This is a lot of spinach though. I'm mixing all the spinach into there. Oops. Okay, I've got the spinach in there. I've got the bulgur in there. That's nice. Okay, good. Okay. I think that the bulgur is actually good today. That was a surprise. Good job, me. Okay. Colander, yes, yes. Strainer. Muley. Are you French, Muley? I'm not sure I would read The Body Keeps the Score because that's 700 pages. That's too much. Especially I'm only starting to read. Yeah, of course, of course. I actually haven't finished reading The Body Keeps the Score. Like, it's been since 2023 and I'm like 75% in. I haven't actually read the whole thing. I'm not sure about the healing part in this book. In The Body Keeps the Score. Yeah. I'm not sure either. I read it because I read it before I got my autism diagnosis. I thought that it was going to help me with my burnout symptoms at the time. So yeah. Hi Muley, welcome to the show. Yes. After eating all the spinach, you will end up being Popeye. Yes. I do like spinach. I prefer spinach dough that is like, you know, creamy and like, oops. Okay, that was the sound of the thing that rings, and I jump every time when it comes, so today was not an exception. Okay, we actually don't need the fan anymore, so that's good. Oof. Oh, we do need a fan. Oof, I'm sorry. Oh. Oh. Oof. That was hot. God. 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 We don't want to put that in. Okay. Gosh darn everything. Oh God. Okay. We're just going to let the oven like spread its warmth into this whole apartment. Oh God. Because I can't touch the plateau thingy. I can't hold this. Oh God. Okay. I wish I had something else to hold it with. Wait. I have this little thingy. Oh God. Turn off the oven. Oof. It is hot. Okay. Well, it looks good though. Vegetables are maybe a little bit burnt, but I think that we're quite certain that the chicken is fine. Okay. Interesting, Yuli. I'm American, but I'm learning French. I can play video games, read non-fiction, and watch news entirely in French, but everything faster paced is still hard for me. Huh. Well, interesting, Yuli. Playing video games in French helped me learn the language. Same for news. Yeah, I think that you guys can connect over that. I mean, I keep forgetting that French isn't your first language, sick. Or is it? I don't know. Okay, so this is what the chicken looks like and what the vegetables look like, and this is what the bulgur looks like and what the sauce thingy looks like. Okay, we're going to just let the steam blow off a little bit off this. I think that the vegetables turned out okay. Okay, so then the next step is to make the pulled chicken. So they say that we should use 2 forks and like pull them apart like this. And then we're going to add the barbecue sauce and a little bit of the lime. Oh, okay. So that's why we kept a bit of the lime. They don't say to you that to keep a little bit of the lime. They just say to put the lime into the yogurt sauce, but they don't say to keep some of the lime. Okay, well I'm glad I kept a half of the lime, approximately, a little bit less, to make this barbecue / lime sauce. And then we put it all into, then we all mix it together. So, okay. Okay, so we need a bowl. Okay, so this is the bowl. Okay. I think I'm going to put you guys on top of the thingy here so that you can actually watch me. Your first language is Arabic, but your French is quite good. Your French is really good, sick. I didn't know. Wait, how do I even do this? Wait, I need to turn you guys around. Okay, sorry, I'm turning you guys around like upside down. But wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Oh, this does make sense. Okay, I just need to keep you guys like this. Okay, now you can see me do pulled pork. Let's see how this is going to work out. Wait, where's the other fork? Oh, we've got a fork in the spinach bulgur thingy. So, okay, so I have 2 forks. And we have, this. We have this. And we're going to just mess this up, I guess. much harder than it looks. Okay. It's much harder than it seems. I thought that was going to be pretty easy, but apparently not. So, okay. So we like shred this to pieces. Like the savages we are, the wild animals that we are. We're just going to like squish this around. Okay, because I mean usually they do pulled pork. This is pulled chicken, which I guess is a bit different. I don't know how. Yeah, at least this doesn't require a lot of skill. You just need to like get into it. Okay, I'm guessing that this is pulled enough. Now let's keep going. We have a lot of chicken to pull. Okay. I'm reading your messages upside down, so I don't think. Are you from Lebanon or North Africa? I've been to Beirut and I was surprised people who spoke French. Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. No, so, yeah. So I've actually met up with 6, so I know about his French levels. And we spoke in French the whole time, but I forgot my French, kind of. So I was a bit rusty, let's just say. I'm trying to get back into French by listening to French audiobooks, but now I've been listening to a lot of English audiobooks, so I forget it all the time. But I will be going to France soon for a holiday. I'll be going to a wedding. So, as I said to you guys before, if you have any wedding gift suggestions, she's a girl from my high school who is really into insects. So, I have this idea of maybe buying her, what's it called? Like some kind of sound speaker device that reproduces the sound of like crickets and stuff like that, where you can have like 2 of these, and so it has a sensor, so whenever you pass by it makes those kinds of sounds, like calming sounds. And the thing is made out of oak, and it's kind of like designer, so I think that it's fine. Because, you know, why would I don't know, it just seems like, why would I buy like some kind of candle holder that like has no meaning to my friend, you know? I've also been thinking about like if I should buy like something very Swedish, like a dollar horse or something like that, because they're like a staple thing. But I don't know like how much you're supposed to spend on wedding gifts and such. Like, I haven't talked to this person face to face in like 5 years. So I don't know how much of a friend I am, but somehow she invited me to her wedding, which is quite an amazing thing. That she even thought to include me was like very nice. Okay, so here we're on the piece of chicken number 2 here. This is very satisfying actually, even though I don't like doing this in a small bowl. I do kind of like shredding the pieces. Pieces. Now, I also wanted to do a dancing video, but you know, it's a little bit too much. Yeah, on YouTube there are creeps, and so maybe it's not the best idea. I did like doing my dancing video like I did a few months ago. Or a year ago? I don't know. Time goes fast and I don't know what's happening. Time goes way too fast. Like, it just keeps running away. Okay, there we go. We've got that. But Mioli, have you ever been on my channel? I think that you have. I think that you come in on the live sometimes, because I've seen that name before. Maybe it's somebody else who has a really similar name, but I think that it's you. Okay, here we're just shredding the chicken. I'm sorry for anybody who's vegetarian, like this is not very appetizing for somebody who's vegetarian, I'm guessing, but maybe you're just having my voice in the background, so you're not seeing what I'm doing. That's what my hope, at least. Okay. I mean, like, my mom is vegetarian, but she was okay with making meat for us, so she would make it, but then, like, she wouldn't eat it. I've always wondered, like, what would she eat instead, and I don't think that she had a very healthy diet, because she was just making food for us, but then not eating it. I think that she maybe had a little bit of a complex around her weight, you know, like most women have. But I hope that she wasn't like starving herself. So anyway, we're just doing this. So, oh, also I need to buy the headphones. Tomorrow I'm going to like go online and like actually buy the headphones. I've decided this now. I can't wait longer. Okay. This was that. Now the barbecue sauce. I mean, that's so stupid. There's a plastic thing, but it doesn't even open up to the barbecue sauce. Oops. Okay. There. Now we get the barbecue sauce, so we squirt that in. Oh, it smells like, well, it's barbecue sauce. It smells like going to McDonald's back in the day when I was a kid. That's the only place I would eat barbecue sauce, I guess. Oh, yes. Oh, God, I've missed this. I've missed the barbecue sauce. Maybe I should buy barbecue sauce and just put it on everything. I think that that's one of the foods that I just really like and that is really easy for me to actually get, but I haven't eaten it for like years. Oh, I like barbecue. Oh. Sorry guys, you guys can't smell this, but I'm getting the memories. Oh wow. Okay. That was good stuff. Okay. Now what do we do? I think that we can turn off the fan. Sorry guys. Now, yes, we have to put that little bit of lime juice into this. Okay, that was the lime juice. We just said a bit, so that's just a bit. Okay, well, that's it. And then, so we put this all together now, I guess. Let's see if I can just somehow, wait, okay, I need a plate. Oop. Oh. Gosh, I should just buy barbecue sauce and just eat the barbecue sauce. Okay. So the way that they present it is that they put the bulgur at the bottom. So we put the bulgur at the bottom of the pan. Put the bulgur at the bottom of the pan. Okay. We put it at the bottom. Okay. And then we eat vegetables. Okay. Okay, I'm going to need something else. Oh, we can use this fork. Okay, I'm just adding some of the vegetables into this. I'm I'm glad that people are watching. Like, I don't know, it always makes me emotional to just think that people are willing to choose to have me on in their background when they're doing stuff. So thank you, whoever you guys are. Okay, so here we've got the vegetables, and then we add some of this into there. There. And then we add some sauce on top. Ta-da! Okay. Probably more sauce, come on. There. Okay, so that's that. We're going to... It doesn't look as good as the picture, but I always, when I do my HelloFresh, like I'll try to compare it with the picture. Okay. Can we like take a picture of this? I don't know. I do not know. Okay, but there's no way to take a picture of this? Okay, fine. No way, no problem, but at least I'll have this, like, so maybe I can take a screenshot later. I think that we might need to charge the phone, so I'm going to do that. We're going to move to my sitting corner, I guess. Oops. Okay. We're going to move to this corner. I think that my phone is overheating. Okay. Now, barbecue is summer staple here in the States. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like going to McDonald's. You don't use it as background? You just watch me? That's so weird. Check them out. Oh, the song, yes. What was it? It's I vislo lopp, which means I've seen the wolf in Old French. I vislo lopp. No, I'm just saying, like, I'm glad that you have time to do this. I just usually have them on in the background, and then I'll look sometimes, you know, but mostly I'll have it in my headphones, and then it's hard for me to focus on two things at the same time, so I'll be like having Dana Anderson in my headphones, and then I'll be doing something else, but like having to focus on that instead. Okay, I'll get my food now. Okay, I had an idea that I was supposed to use the butter for something. Oh, okay, the butter was supposed to go into the bulgur. Okay, right. I thought that there was something missing. I was like, why did I not use the butter? So I'm just putting some of that butter into the bulgur before I sit down with you guys again, because like that was a little bit of a mistake. It's going to make it much better. It's going to be less dry. Okay. I guess that we can use the spoon and scoop out the rest here, the rest of this melted butter. Okay. Okay. There we go. Now we're done. We're going to have to do a lot of cleaning after this. Okay. Good. Now I'm back. I'm sorry. Interesting and informative. No, it's a form of friendship. Thank you. I'm just happy that you're there. Medieval France. I hope to go back to France one day. Oh yes, you've been listening to those songs. I'm subscribed to a channel called Tavernis, Tavernis, and they basically are dressed up as like medieval beekeepers, you know, with like, you know, beekeepers would have like basket over their head, and so we can't see their faces. It's kind of like Daft Punk but like medieval style. So they have like a basket over their heads, and they play songs with like the names of the songs are like related to bees, and yeah, it's kind of like I throw up and those kinds of songs. They just and they have a flute player and a drum player. This is good stuff. I'm quite hungry now because I went out and it was really sunny and I walked quite a bit. Oh, the onion is also good. So let's see what's going on. Bravo, chef. Thank you. Okay, let me just see. Did I miss anything going on here? Oh yeah, you commented on a few of the past videos. Yes. There's a noticeable difference between your French. Oh yes, there's a difference between my French and my English voice. I think that part of that is because I am, like, I grew up in France, so my, yeah. I kind of revert back to how I was as a teenager when I speak French, which isn't good or bad, it's just like, it's just weird, you know? Because I'm kind of another person. And I don't know, you know, like, I kind of had to learn to navigate an adult world in English and Swedish. Not really in French. However, I learned a much more formal version of French because, you know, the school. But I learned also more of the slang of French. So it's like I learned both the formal and the informal in French. Well, in Swedish, like, I didn't know how to be informal with people because the only people that I spoken Swedish with were my dad and my grandparents, pretty much. So I didn't know how to be like normal around people my age. So I didn't know how to speak, pretty much. Like, I could speak, you know, Swedish from the, you know, the theoretical Swedish, but not like the actual way of speaking. Now, my brother had to go and renew his passport in Sweden, and I think that he did a really good job with his Swedish. Like, I think that he seemed like he was speaking naturally and natively, so I'm really glad for him. Because I was a little bit worried that I wasn't getting any Swedish due to, you know, my grandparents were a bigger part of my life than my brothers. And also, I had a little bit more support about that. When I was growing up, I learned to read in Swedish alongside learning in English and in French. So that was very good for my development. But I think that my brother has a little bit more of that neurodivergent stroke of genius kind of thing, which I didn't get, unfortunately. So, Adrian says ditto. Oh, ditto to Bravo Chef. We have a lot of people with like French names here in the comments. Because, yeah, we've talked about that before. Yeah, but so I have a playlist on my channel that is I've made public, which is called Fast Tracks, which is just music that I like to sing and dance to. So even though I won't be making videos of me dancing and singing, or maybe I will, but like, you know, I'll try to keep it, you know, not too revealing of myself. I really like dancing and I really like singing, but I don't really want to expose that to an entire internet. So, but I do want to share like my music that I dance to and stuff because I think that's, you might like it too. And it's kind of music that gets me pumped up to like actually make, like do my dishes and stuff and in the kitchen and doing cleaning. It really pumps me up to like dance and do stuff. So it's motivating. So I hope that you guys maybe just like check it out and maybe you'll find something that you like. It's a very mixed playlist, with a bunch of different things. Like there'll be anything from like Daft Punk to like disco to pop and yeah, vintage songs to contemporary songs. But the whole point is that it's supposed to make you feel something. It's supposed to give you some kind of like energy. So they're not slow songs. That's why I call it fast tracks. Snooty. Your doctor so you know you're eventually you for somehow. Yeah, I guess. I guess that I can learn things by heart. Pretty much. I think that that's where I could get some kind of positive about neurodivergence. But I'm not really quick to learn a lot of new concepts. So yeah, I think that I would be having a harder time in my brother's shoes. But yeah. I heard some guy who insisted that most native English speakers could learn Norwegian or Swedish in 6 months because they're so close to English. Does that seem plausible to you? So, my mom lived her entire life in the US. Then she moved to France for like some job opportunity or something. Well, she moved to London actually, and she moved to France later. I think, yeah. Anyway, my mom has some crazy stories that she never really takes up, but it seems like she was having a really hard time finding an apartment in London, right? And so she ended up moving to France, and she was going to teach marketing. She was going to be part of some company. Anyway, she met my dad. Yeah, and I don't need to tell my whole story, but sick. I've talked to you about how my parents met in that town, and then for my dad's job they moved to Sweden. So my mom lived in Sweden for about 3 years, and had me after one of those years. They got married in Stockholm. So, and I was born in Stockholm shortly after. So my mom was maybe in Sweden for 3-4 years, and she really loved it. And she was having a hard time learning French, but also because of the culture that French people were not like willing to help her with anything. And in France, there wasn't any kind of system for learning French. But in Sweden, there's like a school that you are, if you're like an immigrant, you have to go to Swedish school, basically, to learn Swedish. And, you know, it's kind of a socialist thing where it's like everybody has to go to the program. And it's a free program, but like you have to go. Otherwise, like you need a sick leave or you'll be like, you can't stay. And so my mom really learned a lot of Swedish. So I think that she was in that SFI course for about 3 years. And she said that she learned enough that she could like have conversations in Swedish. She just didn't have like the accent, and that was the next part of her course before they left for France again, was going to be about pronunciation. So she said that she never got that far to get into the pronunciation course. But she said that she learned a lot of Swedish and that she never, learning French was much more complicated for her. So, she's lived in France for 27 years, and yet people keep thinking that she is a tourist every day, which is really bad. But I think that it was much easier for her to learn Swedish than French. But also she got help, So it's hard for me to compare. But it is very similar because they're both like Germanic languages and stuff like that. So there are a lot of similarities. Swedish is also a pretty simple language, doesn't have a lot of words compared to French, and English has most words. Swedish has very simple grammar, French has very complicated grammar, so it makes sense that learning Swedish goes really fast. Now, I have a friend who is so my ESFP friend is part French, part German, and she went to study in Riga, and then she went to Sweden, and she actually has only been in Sweden for 3 years. She had learned a little bit of Swedish beforehand, but her level of Swedish is great. So somehow, I think that knowing German really helped her a lot there. Now her parents live in Spain, so she's got that connection as well. But I think that knowing German is really going to help you learn Swedish, because basically German is like a complicated Swedish, you could say. Swedish has the simple grammar, German has the complicated grammar. I've never learned German, so. She wants to go to Latvia. Oh, she lived in Latvia for 6 years. She went through medical school there. Do you like Norwegian boys? I mean, okay, I'm gay, so maybe not the boys. But I love how Norwegian people talk. Let's just say that. Norwegian people talk, it sounds like they're always happy somehow. And their voice, it sounds so silly. It sounds like such a silly language. It's kind of like how it's kind of like, the Netherlands. The Netherlands is kind of it's a silly language, when you know like German or English and you read the language that they speak in Holland, Netherlands, Dutch. Sorry, it took me a while to get to that. Dutch is such a silly language to anybody who's outside, who kind of, because it just looks so silly and things are said in such silly ways. So for me, it's kind of like that with Norwegian, where it's like, this is such a silly language, so yeah. I mean, I can understand quite a bit. We have a nurse at my workplace who's Norwegian, and but the thing with Norwegian is that there are so many dialects. Apparently, they can't even understand themselves, within the different regions. So, yeah, that would be a problem. But also, I think that in Norwegian culture, there's such a big culture around like being outdoorsy, kind of, and I don't think that I would. I'm not as outdoorsy as the Norwegians. I don't think that I could go hike every weekend like they seem to do. This is just a stereotype, but that's how that's my experience with Norwegians, let's just say. But a lot of my colleagues have worked in Norway because they pay very well in Norway. even though everything is expensive, you can just work there for a summer, and it's like it helps you for the whole year. I'm of Scandinavian descent. Here in Minnesota, we still fly Norwegian and Swedish flags, and you can enjoy some of their food in the markets, but almost no one speaks the language anymore. Yeah, I know about that. There was this couple that was from Minnesota that came to France where I was living when I was growing up, and I did some babysitting for them. And they were really interested in the fact that I was Swedish, so they had, yeah, they were more patriotic about Sweden than I was. Some med students go to Lithuania, yes, but Latvia, I think that Latvia had a better medical program. Not to like this Lithuania, but I think that Latvia had a better medical program. There was also this whole thing of like how certain countries would give you more international, like you could go more internationally if you went to the Latvian program compared to the Lithuanian program. I think that the Lithuanian program, you could do everything in English, but then you would be missing out on quite a big experience. While in Latvia, I think that they had to learn some Latvian in order to pass their medical school degree, which seems a little bit more ethical, you know? Sometimes really doesn't end until May. Yeah, well, winter, yeah. So here I am sweating and it's 26 degrees. Well, it's maybe like 19 degrees now outside. It seems like it rained while we were talking. Maybe that's why it was so stuffy. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm used to another kind of weather in France. So I can deal with the Swedish summers, but like a lot of Swedish people just go to France like right when it's the hottest. I don't understand what they're thinking, but I think that Sweden is the best place to be during the summer. And it's only okay during the summer. Conjugating words can be challenging, yes. The Baltics attracts med students, yes. What time of day were you born, Ingrid? Just curious. Adrian, are you making a are you making me a astrology chart or something? Mon ami la rose. Adrian and Sick really need to get together and like on their love on Mon ami la rose. I think that you both love that song. Yeah, I could sing that. I don't, I think that it's quite difficult to sing probably. Because it's like it seems like she says everything in the same note and then she goes up. I don't have like that deep voice that she seems to have. Mon ami la rose veut la dès ce matin. Something. I forgot the song, but that's kind of how it goes. Mon ami la rose, mon ami ce matin. You know, kind of like that. I need to see the text. But so anyway, no. So for my astrological chart, I am born, I think, 9:15 in the morning. Which kind of is interesting because I'm born in 1995, so I have those numbers. So if you're taking numerology and all that, I have, yeah. I'm not going to tell you my birth date and everything because, you know, that's a little bit, but you guys know my age, so you know what year I'm born in. So I'm born in 1995. You can also guess from earlier videos when my birthday is. But I'm born in 1995 and was born in 9:15 in the morning. So yeah, 9s, 1s, and 5s are a big thing for my dates. Also, my birth date and my, you know, it's all the same kinds of numbers. So I really like the number 9. Let's just say. I don't know what my numerology path is. OKN. I passed first year med. What a tough year, but we're here. How are you? How's midsummer? Oh, well, midsummer was a month ago, so you've missed it. But I made a video about my trip to Skåne, where I talk about midsummer a little bit more in detail. I recommend watching that because it's quite a, I talk about the traditions in midsummer and stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, so that's great that you went through med school, first year. I mean, congrats. I mean, my first year of medical school was such a long time ago. Like, I feel like my whole life has been medical school. So I'm like, yeah, it's confusing. It's weird how time passes and flies by so fast. But yeah. But I don't know if where you are OKM if you have to do pre-med before you go into med school. Because for me, our undergraduate program is also med school, so we don't have undergraduate and graduate program. We have just all in one. So I think that's, yeah. Okay, I'm going to just put the stuff together into the bowl, and because it's just going to get bad, I'm going to move you guys again. Move, 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 move. Okay. But yes, I am dressed in kind of a midsummery kind of dress. There's a lot of mess to clean, lots of mess to clean. Yeah. So, yeah, we were talking about all sorts of things. We were talking about languages, and we were talking about books, and we were talking about stuff. I might make another book review video because I have 2 books that I want to review, which are in the description box of this video. But maybe I'll do it in a separate video, because I have a lot of things to say. One of them is living disability, and one of them, which is of course about the disability, but there's another one that's about Annie Bot, which I thought was a good, it was good. Annie Bot I gave it 5 stars, which is kind of like a Ex Machina slash Blade Runner kind of dystopia thing. And then there was, but it was like, yeah, basically a cuddle bot from the point of view of the cuddle bot, which is interesting rather than, another kind of robot. I don't know, like, I don't want to spoil, or I think that I'll do spoilers for that video. Maybe I'll just like talk about the book at the beginning and do the spoilers at the end or something, like a timestamp or something like that. But it is a really good book, and it made me think a lot about like relationships and, toxic relationships, and also about autism. And it made me think about society and AI and all sorts of things. Okay, actually, let's keep this separate. The lime, maybe want to put more of that lime onto the chicken. A little bit more of the lime into the sauce, so it kind of is like preserving the sauce, I guess. Let's keep that in there, and this one in there too. These are just to throw out, I guess. That's lime. More lime. This goes into the sink. Oof, this is kind of gross. This smells like old chicken. Okay. Oops. Okay, that dripped. Oh, now I have to do a lot of dishes, but we'll do it later. Oops. Okay. We'll keep this here. We'll put the chicken and this into the fridge. This into the fridge. Good. I have some zucchini as well. Maybe I could add some of the zucchini to make the food last longer. Okay. Let's see. Oh, dark. It's dark. Okay. It finally gets dark. Okay. Whew. Now we're talking. Okay. Tack så mycket. Wait, what? Hopefully no old people harmed during your midsummer. Oh. I actually have never seen the movie Midsummer. I've seen like half of it, but I got creeped out. I hate horror movies. So my mom watched a little bit of the rest. And like I remember I came back into the room at some point and like I was right in the worst scene with like flames and the bear and terrible things happening. And I was like, oh no. I shouldn't have come back in. So I haven't actually seen, I've seen a bit of Midsummer, but I haven't seen the whole thing. I'm in the UK. I kind of did pre-med doing graduate, which is 2 years in one. Oh, I tried to get into British medical school, but then I heard that it was way too hard for somebody from outside the UK to apply. So I actually instead applied for the biomedical program in the UK, and I got accepted, but I didn't go. I was accepted to York and UCL, and in the end I didn't go to any of them because I'm glad I didn't, because Brexit. I didn't know about Brexit then, but you know, I'm glad I didn't go because, well, I had a much better time I think in Sweden, but yeah, I had to do the whole application system and everything with like writing a personal statement and stuff like that. But I learned that it was so much more difficult for me, at least personally, to get into British medical school than getting into Swedish one. So that's why I went to Swedish one. But okay, pre-med doing graduate, which is 2 years in one. Okay, so you did 1 year and this is your second year, basically, of medical school. So yeah, I mean, for me, it was 5.5 years of medical school. Then I graduated. Then I worked, like in order to get an internship, I had to work to fill up my CV. Then I did my internship for 1.5 years. Then I took a break because it was COVID and I was burnt out. And then, and since then I've been doing my residency. And I've done 3 years of my residency. So all in all, it's taken me 11 years to get to this point, and I'm still not done. So yeah, it just makes me tired just thinking about it. Are there any good French language websites, measures boards, or apps for autistic people? Oh yeah, you're autistic too. I don't know, because I've never had to learn French as a second language. You know, I've learned French by living there and growing up there, so I don't know. I would say that a good way that I maintain my French is that I listen to I used to have a good VPN, but now I don't. And this was a few years ago. I used to watch like French TV. Now I listen to French audiobooks. But you know, it can be a little bit tough. I would say like reading the French audiobook, the reading the book physically and listening to the audiobook at the same time can maybe help you. Don't go into things that are way too complicated. But the best way to know like how people actually speak in real life is through TV, you know, because otherwise you're getting into too academic stuff. So that's my tip. I mean, I don't know because, you know, I just learned things the natural way, being surrounded by French all the time. But yeah, and I'm forgetting my French now, so I don't know how good it was. UCL is a great uni. York is close too. Do you want to be in attending consulting in Sweden? I don't know what an attending is, and I don't know what a consultant is. I know kind of what a consultant is, but I am planning to be a GP doctor. That's what I'm doing. Are you the anime type INFP Raven? No. I like Studio Ghibli, but that's about how far I go. I've seen those movies like, you know, 5 centimeters per second, Wolf, not Wolf Brother, the Wolf Children, and, you know, Garden of Words and that kind of thing, but I haven't actually gotten into anime. My best friend that I used to have, my INFJ friend, was really into anime, and I just wasn't. I don't know. I didn't really grow up with it, because for me, like manga was confusing. I mean, I used to watch like Magical Doremi and Cardcaptor Sakura when I grew up, but like, yeah, I haven't watched them since. So no, I don't know anything about anime. I know that France is really into anime, but that's because they are really into comic books and that kind of thing. But I was never into comic books either. Like I had a best friend who I think is like INTP or something when I was in high school or junior high, and she was always reading comic books like at every pause that we got. So yeah. Yuri says, okay, thanks, but I meant, are there places online for French autistic people, like a French equivalent of the English dating friendship for autistics called Hiki? I mean, I'm not even on the dating scene, so I don't even know about these autistic equivalents. So yeah, don't ask me. I didn't even know about Hiki. Yuri, do you check website for learning about autism in French or learning about French as an autistic person? Yeah, so I watch French YouTubers. Actually, what's her name? Joanna en Pyjama, and actually I stopped following Mésange because I couldn't deal with her masking tips. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't want to learn to mask. Like, I've masked my whole life. I don't need to do more. But so yeah, Mésange is another one. We've got Palm's Journey, who, you know, now lives in France again, but she does her videos in English. We've got, what's her name? A Space Girl, underscore neurodivergent, I think it is. And then we've got Alistair, H. Paradoxae, who's also autistic, but he hasn't made any videos for a while, and he's trans. Yeah. Sick Paris Manga, like a social media gathering place for French autistics. I mean, none of the French YouTubers have talked about that, so I don't know about it. I only know about what the French YouTubers say. I don't know about social gathering, but your interesting website or YouTube is Evixith. Evixith. Webinars about autism in French. Interesting. I'm not really into the academic side of autism. Like, I don't watch webinars or that kind of thing because too often it kind of makes me a little bit. I don't really like thinking of autism in such a clinical sense, because I am autistic myself. So kind of like I want to hear rather people's experiences of their brain rather than like learning about the neurology of the brain. But I will say that Joanne en Pyjama has a special interest in neurology, and so she translates all of this to like normal speech. So she made a video that was really enlightening, that was about debunking the theory that autistic people are, that you can just have autistic traits, and that autism is a spectrum. Like, autism is a spectrum, but either you are autistic or you're not, rather than this thing of like, oh, people in the family can have autistic traits but not be autistic, and there are some people who are like on the edge of being autistic and or and that theory has been debunked, and I'm glad for that, because I'm tired of people saying, oh, everybody's a little bit autistic, oh, you can have just some autistic traits but not be autistic. It's like, okay, either you are autistic and have trouble with this, or you're just neurotypical people, or you have, you just don't have autism. And yes, some traits, some autistic people have autistic traits, but those autistic traits are just human traits, like liking routine is a trait. It's not an autistic trait by definition. Autism is a collection, it's a whole ecosystem of ways of thinking about the world, and it's not just a checklist of traits. So I think that's the important distinction. And she talks about how each part of the brain is involved in autistic symptoms, and I think that's really interesting. I understand, but it's not always clinical. Sometimes they use testimony like hyper aidant. Yeah, but I can't deal with sorry. I get like, I do not want to hear about testimonies of people who take care of autistic people. Like, I just want to hear about people who are autistic themselves, so I can relate to them. I don't want to hear about parents of autistic children. I know that they have their struggles, but they're not my struggles. They're another thing, right? Has anyone watched the series Astrid de Raphael or Patience, similar to Sherlock but with female autistic characters? I know that my mom actually watched Astrid de Raphael, which really surprises me. I'm not able to watch these. Like, I don't have the, I used to have the VPN, but I don't have that. I really like Sherlock. Unfortunately, I have a special interest in Sherlock, BBC Sherlock, and Arthur Conan Doyle Holmes. So I am interested just in that. And my interest does not really translate to them, to those, but I could, because I did get really into Miss Sherlock, which was a Japanese Sherlock series, which was really, really good. Unfortunately, the main character, the person who played the main character, committed suicide, so they never made a season 2, which is very, very sad. But yeah, I watch series in general. Yeah, I usually don't either. I thought a bit much. I can't remember any details, though. I should check those out. No, it's fine. It's not like triggering. It's just like I don't know what I wish that I could think things differently or do things differently, but like I need to be selective about the things that I commit to, because I get really invested in certain things. And then, so I need to use my time wisely, like, not get immersed in too many things. And also I want to work on like watching things or listening to things that will be of a positive impact on my life, rather than just things that are just accumulating a bunch of information in my head, like a bunch of clutter in my head, like what Bufo was talking about, talking about so much confusion and so much. Yeah, I I need to keep my mental clutter to a certain minimum, certain maximum. I can't go too far beyond that. Anyway, sorry, I need to eat more of that barbecue chicken. I'm sorry, that was too good. Oh. Oops. No. Okay. Okay, I had to eat more of that barbecue chicken. It was too good. But they're quite good. Patients with LMAZ Purvis, who has ADHD and autism. Yeah, mental cluttering. Yeah. No, I'll put it on my list of things. It's just I rarely watch series. Like I've been trying for several months now. Also, I think that it's because all my series kind of they get canceled, and so like I don't want to commit to anything that's going to get canceled at some point. Because I was really into Wheel of Time, and Wheel of Time got canceled now. And now Stephen Colbert got canceled. Like that is a sign of things really sucking in the world. When Stephen Colbert is being canceled, like that's bad. I've been wanting for several months now to watch The Handmaid's Tale last season and to watch Squid Game, both the second and the third season now. And when Stranger Things, the last season, is coming out, then I'm going to be watching that. Yeah, it's hard for me to watch series. Like I can't get myself to do that. So that's where we're at. We're not watching anything new right now, but I will think about it. Patience and stuff. I think that it can be quite good. I did watch Enola Holmes when that came out. That was quite interesting. With what's her name? The main girl from Stranger Things. That was really good. Yeah. Oh, we're almost gone past 2 hours. We've got 9 people watching. Yay. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about? Okay, I need to drink something. I need to drink juice. Oh, hello, Super Cat. I haven't been here for a while, unfortunately, due to some personal problems. Oh, I'm sorry, Super Cat. I'm going to drink some juice now because I am dying of heat. I say as somebody who is living in like one of the coldest countries on earth, but okay. We're going to. So Super Cat, I am going to be making another video about books that I'm reading, but I talked about a book called what's it called? Oh god, Do Ask, Do Tell, which is about LGBTQIA plus, just queer stuff. A bunch of it's a non-fiction book. And then I've been reading Anibot, about a robot called Annie, who is like basically a toy for her owner. And then I've been reading Living Disability, which is also a non-fiction book. I know that you like reading books. Still need to watch last season of Stranger Things too. You have to go. Okay, bye Nudie, bye. Patience is only 6 episodes. Oh, good. By the way, Ingrid, I don't see Schumann anymore. Are you keeping in contact with him? Yes, I am. I don't know why he doesn't want to comment on YouTube videos, but yeah. He is still around. I have contact with him every day. Pretty much. Bye, Nudie, yes. No, I have to be careful about talking about people online due to, you know, for example, my INFP friend, kind of a reason that he left. Oh, Ingrid, I thought it was Raven. What is Raven? That my name is Raven? No, my name isn't Raven, unfortunately. I would have made a cool name. I put in my description box that my name is Ingrid or Radish, according to what you want to say, you got what to call me. So I do love reading. Thank you for sharing some insights into your recent reads. Thank you. Yes, I don't know. I'm going through the books. I have the audiobook service, so I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I go to the forest and I listen to audiobooks. And then I watch videos or listen to videos. It's just that it takes more of my battery. So since I can just download the books and then I don't need to have my screen on when it comes to audiobooks, I just, you know, it lasts me quite a long time. So I can go into the forest and listen to the audiobooks. I was watching Bufo's video today, and I don't know if it's still up, but I will try to comment once I'm there. I did some journaling and I, you know, often a lot of my journaling is just like, oh, I watched this video today. This is what they made me think about, that kind of thing. So it's like watching the videos is kind of like therapy for me. Like I'm looking at different ideas and thinking about them and like analyzing them and reviewing them. And then I read my books, so that also adds to that. I've been pretty good at keeping my journal. So my next video will just be like a very short video, like just a few seconds of me doing my journaling. But yeah, some books that you find comforting. My problem with this is that I used to, you know, my special interest used to be Harry Potter, and now because due to J.K. Rowling's stance on things, I cannot read Harry Potter, and I'm not comforted by Harry Potter things anymore. But when it comes to other books, I don't reread books in general. Like I just don't do that. Even when I had the special interest, I didn't reread books. So I'm trying to think, what books are comforting to me right now? I'll have to think about that one. Because it's like, well, I don't really read books from my childhood. I mean, I read the Moomins which was quite nice and cozy. But it wasn't like I read the Moomins when I was growing up. It's not like, it's cozy. It's not, I guess it's comforting in a way. So the Moomins, I guess. I I don't know. When I was a kid, I would just read horrible histories, which isn't really comforting. um, I wasn't really a bookworm when I was small. There came a point where I was reading a lot, which was like when I was around maybe like 13, 14. But as a kid, I wasn't really reading much. And then I read Northern Lights, which was a good book, but it's not like I wouldn't call it a comfort book. It's quite a complex book. Like, it doesn't really comfort me. It's hard. Alchemist, horrible histories. Yes, I really liked horrible histories. That's kind of what got me into reading when I was, because like I would read books for school, but like I wouldn't read for myself. And then there was this library called Babel in my hometown, which was an English library that was financed. Well, it was just like donations from all these English families. And then you were reading self-help books. Yeah. So that library doesn't exist anymore. My mom told me that they sold all the books away like a year ago. So that was really sad, because that was the place where all the English speakers in my town would gather up. And so there were some women who were like really bookworms, and so they helped me explore a little bit, like what was on the shelves. There were some books that were like choose your own adventure, which I found was really cool. So I had to ease my way into reading by going through horrible histories and choose your own adventure before I could actually go into like novels. Then the novel that I read was Northern Lights, which I really loved. I didn't understand anything of the implications, but yes, I grew up in France. I was born in Sweden, but I don't remember it. Then I moved to France when I was 2 and was there until I was 18. And when I was 18, I moved back to Sweden. So yeah, I'm both French and Swedish. But so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what my comfort books are. We'll have to think about that one. Maybe I'll journal about it and I'll come back to that question in another video. So I got it in Northern Lights. I don't know. My mind blanked out, like completely blank. Maybe somebody else has some kind of comfort book that they like. I did not read. Oh, I read The Alchemist, but I did not find it cozy, unfortunately. I think I read the Alchemist a bit too far into my literary journey, because now I'm like reading classics and stuff. So The Alchemist just felt too cheesy. It felt too silly compared to the serious books I was reading. So yeah, I guess. I read a book for school. I read Of Mice and Men. I think that was a good book. Would I say it's a comfort book? I don't know, with the fact of all the terrible things that happens in the book. I also liked Mr. Pip, which was like a meta book, kind of, about like some African place where the only book on the island was Great Expectations, so they would read that. And so I hate Great Expectations, but I love Mr. Pip because it was like such a meta book about reading books. I kind of like that theme. So that's in terms of books I read for school. I would read Tracy Beaker and all those kinds of Jacqueline Wilson books when I was 12, 13, but it's not something that I would read now. I read The Butterfly Lion by Michael Maporgo. As you can tell, my English teachers were British, so like I would read a lot of Michael Maporgo and Jacqueline Wilson books. What else? I don't know. That was a really good question. That stumped me. L'homme qui plantait les arbres was one of the first books I read, but it was in French. A bit cheesy, but I liked it. What he wrote in a few days. Well, unfortunately, you can tell that he wrote it in a few days. Oh, that guy. I got so mad at that book. I'm sorry. Anyway, that's really good, okay, and that you're going through War and Peace and Anna Karenina. I'm not at that point yet. In my literary journey, I am not up to reading Russian big books. I'm not there yet. But I started. I read White Nights by Dostoevsky, so that was something. And then I read Les Misérables by Victor Hugo because, you know, it was in French. Tolstoy, that's impressive. Yeah, I'm not there yet. Tracy Beaker was big in the UK. L'homme qui plantait des arbres. Yeah, I told you, Sick, that I read it. I did not really like it. I can like it in like a folk story, but as in like an actual novella, I find it to be lacking in depth somehow. But I know that it's one of your favorite books, so I'm not going to criticize it too much more. It's just that it reads more as like a fable or like a parable or something, rather than like an actual novella or something like that you pick up from the shelf. Because it is so simple. Maybe that's what's beauty in it, I don't know. But yeah. Well, that's true. I like the message was simple and profound. Jacqueline Wilson, I haven't heard of her, but would be interested to look into her books. Yeah, I mean, Jacqueline Wilson was like teenage girl books, pretty much. But she went into really deep topics, like about addiction and drugs. She went into, yeah, a lot of like divorce, that kind of thing. She went into pretty deep things. And there would be pictures in them too, so I really like that. I read quite a few of her books. And then Veronica Decides to Die, not a first book though, no. I also read, yeah, so Jacqueline Wilson was something that I read a lot of. I had a flash of the memory of some book and then I forgot. Sorry. Oh yeah, so there was this book called Ingo, which I picked up because of my name, right? My actual name. And it was about a mermaid. I found it to be such captivating fantasy. And I never picked that book up again, but it was a really good book. I also read the Wolf Brother series by Michelle Paver, and that was one of my favorite series as well, where, yeah, it's about the prehistoric boy who can talk to wolves and who has like a wolf spirit. And I thought that was really cool. And yeah, I think that's I really enjoyed that book. I talked about like different clans and like they would go to the different clans and they all had their different customs and stuff. So it was kind of like fantasy but for kids, you know? So I really like that one. And then I read, it was a book called North, which was really weird and creepy, but it was kind of like Northern Lights with like a polar bear and stuff like that. Or it was called like East, not North. I don't know. It was weird. I remember that there was a polar bear on the cover. And then, yeah, so there was, in this library that we had, there would be different categories. And so one of them was like other times, other places. I would read a lot of that. And I would read mystery and thriller sometimes, but never mystery. It was always the thriller part. And I remember reading Family and Friends, which was Jacqueline Wilson was basically on Family and Friends. And then there was poetry and short stories, which was another one. And so each of these had a marker of a different color. So I still remember the colors. And like we had these challenges of like reading one book from each category during the year, or reading a certain amount of books in the year. And the name of the room was called Rats, the Rats Room. And it was due to an acronym that actually it was an old school that got transferred to my school. The old school still exists. It's called Stendhal. And because Stendhal, the author, is the name of a school in my old town. And so, but the thing is, they used to have an international section, and then the international sections got moved over to another school, which was going to be an international section school, which is where I went for school. And so the S stands for Stendhal in rats. And then so they would have rats, and then they would have stars, which is basically rats spelled backwards. So once you graduated from rats to stars, then so basically from junior high, you would get access to Rats Room. And if you went into high school, then you had access to both the Stars Room and the Rats Room. And then there was an extra stars, X stars, which was like the adult books that we had to ask for permission to read. And one of those books was The Lovely Bones, which I unfortunately said that it was one of my favorite books to one of my teachers, and she was like scandalized. For those of you who have read The Lovely Bones, it might not come as a surprise, but yeah, basically it's a girl dies, and then she's been attacked, and she recounts her story as a ghost trying to solve, or like trying to alert the authorities about her own murder. And yeah, it was quite graphic, but yeah, so that was the kind of thing that was in X Stars. I also read a book called Junkie, I think, by Burgess, somebody Burgess, and it was about like basically some homeless teenagers on drugs. Yeah, so I would read these books, but you had to be careful because, because you had to ask about every single X Stars book that you would read, like they kind of kept a monitor on that. But otherwise, everything else was open to you to read. So, Anton Chekhov. Didn't Chekhov write plays? Interesting reader. I don't know. I don't remember half of these books. There was also this book called The Clarinet, and it was really, really, really sad. I forgot what that was. That was with Other Times, Other Places, because it has something to do with World War II or something, and it was really tragic. I think they got disfigured. It was, whoa. That one wasn't even in the X Stars, because it was so short that they thought that they couldn't have any graphic stuff in it. So I don't know how they did the books, but anyway. Also, in English class, we read Goodnight, Mr. Tom, which is absolutely not traumatizing at all for a 10-year-old kid or 11-year-old. I was 11, which was making me read about, my English teacher was making us read about a boy who was abused by his mom and locked in a closet during the Blitz. Yeah, my mom was quite shocked when she found out that this was what we were reading about. But yeah, I think it was good that we read it. It was just like, wow, it was, yeah, out of all the books that they could have chosen, that was the one that they chose. But yeah, Goodnight, Mr. Tom is big. Am I an Olympic reader? Now, I'm not an Olympic reader. I read a pretty normal amount of books. I didn't really love. Also, I have a different sense of things because my best friend at a certain time was a real bookworm, and that's because she was getting bullied really badly. I think that she was like an, I don't know what type she was. Maybe she was ENTP or ENFP. I don't know, but she, or maybe she was even an INTP. I don't know, but she was really into reading, and she was really good at math and really good at reading. And she would always be having her nose in her book because she didn't have anybody to talk to. And even I got kind of a little bit, the social pressure of like being popular and cool. Like I didn't want to be her friend because like everybody else would like ostracize me if I were to be her friend. In the end, I ended up becoming a friend because I kind of like, drew back a little bit of my ego and kind of like actually became friends with this person. But being 14, 15, it's a hard time to live, you're like, everything is about how popular you are, and I was a scared person who was just like, I didn't want to be bullied, so like, yeah, I wasn't acting always. Like sometimes being quiet is like being complicit. Like I would be quiet while people would be like doing really shit stuff to this friend. And finally we ended up becoming friends because I ended up in her class and kind of being stuck with her, I guess. And she opened up to me, and we became friends and had a great relationship. But at first it was like, I just thought, ugh, I'm stuck with the weird kid, And I'm not proud of thinking that way, but, I was 14, so it's like, I can't expect any much maturity from me at that age. But it does hurt me a bit to think, like, how mean I could be, I guess. But yeah, so she would read a lot. Like she would read a book a day. Like, she always had her nose in a book. And that's because she had no friends. And then, yeah, I don't know how much she reads now. But yeah, she ended up, because she was so good at math too, she ended up becoming an engineer. And she works at a startup and lives in Paris. And actually she got lucky with the startup, that she ended up earning a lot of money and doing good for herself. And now she's, she has a whole other life. She's fit, she has friends, she has a partner, and it has been like this for a few years now. I stayed at her place when I went to Paris, so we still have some contact. But yeah, it's sad what you can hear. But so that's why I'm so, yeah. Oh no, bye Super Cat. Sorry. I have to go because I'm getting come to eat. It was really good. Talk about books. I wish you a very good evening. Alice Sibyl's book. I haven't read that. Is she the one who wrote Lovely Bones? I've seen the movie The Lovely Bones. I wanted to read a book about after that too. Surprising that this teacher was scandalized by that choice. Well, it was quite scandalizing. Anyway. Oh, yeah, so I'm glad I got to talk a little bit books with Super Cat because good she managed to go that far. Yeah. She actually was living in Lyon for a while. Because she went to one of the schools there. What it was called? I don't know what the names of the schools are, but it was a school that has a taupe. What are they called? I don't know what a taupe is in English. It's those little. Yes, exactly. Ekhuiselhout. She went to Ekhuiselhout. I think she did at least. It's the one with the toop, at least. Toop is a. Sorry, I'm thinking about the word in Swedish, but that's not helping anybody. It's those little animals that crawl under the ground, and a mole rat. No, not a mole rat, a mole. They go under the ground and they don't see anything. So yeah, that's their, not their motto, but their mascot. Their mascot. Yeah, so she went to that school and then she moved to Paris, and yeah, that was that. But I think that she's done a good job. I'm so proud of my friends, you know, like they've done all these things, like my friend who's getting married, who is now a PhD in zoology, or she's now a researcher. I don't know what projects she's doing, but she researches on bees and insects. Yeah, it's a good engineering school, exactly. I have a few friends that went there. I had like my ISTJ friend as well. She went there, and a few other friends actually. One of them went to Switzerland afterwards, and one of them stayed in my town. Afterwards, she came back to my town. Yeah, so I think that there are quite a few people went there. Some people went to Paris. Yeah. So yeah, no. So she read a lot. So in comparison, I didn't read a lot, but I guess I read more than some people, at least. And then I went through a reading slump once I became an adult and I went through medical school. I didn't want to read anything. So now I'm getting back into reading. So I've read 40 books out of my 50 on my Goodreads list, which is my goal. My goal is 50 books this year, which is kind of where I got last year. It was 50 books, so I'm getting there. I'm reading quite short books, so it's not like, it's not like I'm reading Lord of the Rings or something, But I do want to read, what's his name? Game of Thrones or The Wheel of Time, just the first book out of one of those. So yeah. Okay, maybe it's time for me to round up. Does anybody have anything else? I know that some people left now. I'm drinking up all of my juice. Wait, this top fans thing really stresses me out. What does this mean? Wait, there's a question mark here. Okay. Très belle soirée. Bonne nuit. Yes, it was very lovely. Okay, anybody have any last things? Otherwise, I'm going to end this. Just putting this back into the fridge. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay. Okay, well, so since nobody is saying anything, we're going to turn this off. So bye, guys. I'm going to be making one video about books that I am reading, so the books for July, and then I'll be making a video maybe about just things that are going on. Maybe I'll make a video once I have the Pride Parade on the 2nd of August. And then we'll see. So have a good day, everybody. Bye. Let's see, how do we do this? Close.